Something I heard recently was from a guy named Jim Ron, and he had said self sacrifice usually earns contempt. Self development and self investment earns respect. And that is something I've been thinking about a lot lately,
Mm-hmm.
because the truth of it just hit me hard.
Mm-hmm.
If self sacrifice, although the intention might be really selfless, it's kind of a selfish thing. And it has that effect on other people when they see that. Like, we're not with it. But if you invest in yourself, and that could mean saying no to certain things or just, being absent, um, it has this gravity about it where people respect you.
Absolutely. No, that's a very, very profound, profound quote. Um, yeah, I would tend to agree. Of focusing on developing those aspects of yourself can really go a long way. Um, and it may not even by focusing on that, you really kind of take out the whole because the whole sacrifice part of it might just like you mentioned, not only just feel like a little selfish, but kind of like a negative connotation to it. Like I'm giving something away to try to pursue this, but just by focus on developing yourself can give you tools for the future and help those around you. Who did you say said that?
Jim Ron, he was an
Jim Rohn.
entrepreneur. Yeah, back in the
Wow,
day.
that's
The
awesome.
reason I brought up that quote is because it reminded me of you, actually. You,
Really?
when I worked with you, you seemed like you had that balanced out pretty well. You had your own space where you had your priorities and you were doing your thing. And on the other end, you were also willing to be a part of something else and put your best foot forward there.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that, man. Because uh, I mean, I'm sure you'll see this as you get older too. But I'm just kind of just going along with just like everyone else, and the whole fake it till you make it thing. Just make it seem like I know what I'm doing, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get through the weeks, get through the months, but trying to find, like you said, trying to find that balance between work and relationships and yourself at the end of the day. Just trying to be happy, and that's something that I still struggle to, I guess, find that true balance of what does it mean to be happy? Does it look like does it look like success in your career? Does it look like your own personal values? Um, Time with your family? It's as you get older, man. It's hard to truly find the thing that makes you happy. I think it's just a collection of things and a collection of yourself, your different traits, trying to be a better man, trying to be a better person. Um, but I'm happy to hear you say that because I'm not gonna lie. Well, as you know, the that whole process of working with you and the other seven group of interns was kind of thrusted last second, and just trying my best to put on the best program that I can. So I'm glad y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, you were like Atlas holding up the globe.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. No, it was definitely a team effort. Y'all made it easy on me, so I want to thank y'all again for sure.
It's
Especially
interesting.
especially you. Yeah, especially you. It was actually funny. We had a meeting earlier. I think it was might have been last week. Um, because of course we have the new summer group coming up in a few months, so we're trying to plan on that, and we were just talking about how how mature and ready you were for that role that you took on. and we're like, yeah, man, that Omar helped us out so much, and we definitely miss him because I know that that position got filled, but you made it so much easier on us for stepping in there and taking in those day-to-day tasks. So we definitely miss you around the office in the
Man, I
evenings.
appreciate that. That's really nice to hear. Yeah, all you guys were so cool. I've worked at so many places before, but working with you guys, it felt the right kind of professional. Just the atmosphere there, everybody that I came across,
Yeah.
it was so smooth. Everybody was just doing things the way I feel like things should be done.
Hmm.
It was
Nice.
cool, man. It was cool.
Nice. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
What have you been up to since then?
I've been up to a lot of things and nothing. But before we go there, one of the things I wanted to go back to was
Sure.
what you were talking about with happiness. The way you were mentioning it made me think, how do you view happiness? Is it having a collection of things that should make people think that you're happy? Or is it having a collection of things that actually makes you happy?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm finding that the older I get, the more let me back up. So like if you asked me this 10 years ago when I was 21, about to graduate college, I would have told you my goal in life is to be successful, make the most money I can possible, probably be executive leadership, things like that. Um and now I'm finding that what what I enjoy the most is just hanging around my loved ones and spending time with my now fiance, my dog, my family. That those are really the times that I feel truly the most happy. Um, I know I having lived back home and how long have I been in Houston? About almost 3 years, I think. Um, and so I don't get to see them as much as often as I used to. So now whenever I go, travel back home, it's really nice to catch up and see my grandparents. So those are really the times that make me happy. So now moving forward, I think instead of getting caught up in the I mean, I still want to be successful, but in terms of not making it my number one priority and making sure I have enough time to um, leave work at where work is, and whenever I cross through that front door at home, I'm greeted with a bad dog that just can't, um, so happy to see me, and those types of things is what's really fulfilling to me right now.
Were you
And
always
I'm sure that'll change when 10 years from now. So I think it's just it evolves. It evolves throughout the stages of your life because um, I know it hit me a little bit over the holidays when you notice you see your grandparents and your parents, you see them getting older. I know I joke about how I feel myself getting older. I have a bunch of gray hairs now, but you don't it doesn't really hit you the same whenever you notice it, like on your parents or your grandparents. You're like, man, time is really the most valuable resource, I feel.
were you always a family oriented person? Or was it after college and just experiencing life?
I think it was when I moved away for college, so right around 18 is when you really start to see the shift. Um, for me personally, growing up, we usually had a lot of holiday celebrations with the family, and so that I mean that I was always used to. I I don't have a bunch of cousins, but I know the ones that I do. We used to hang out when we were growing up. Um, of course, it's just me and my sister, and we actually went to two separate high schools. So I think that dynamic played a role in how close we were. Um, but it really started whenever I moved away and uh, trying to figure stuff out on my own and realize how big of a support system you have is really what makes a big difference in this world. Um, what's the old saying? Like it takes a village or takes a community to raise something like that. But
Yeah,
uh,
through the child, yeah.
right, something like that. Yeah. So I think that's where it started, and then I think like the past 5 6 years, uh, my dad and my parents make it a priority for, especially like on the holidays and Thanksgiving. They host it all the time at their place now, which is something they used to not do. But um, that is that's something that's. Let me turn this off. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Could you hear that?
I could.
Oh
It's
wow!
funny
All
because
right.
on Zoom, I used to do these on Zoom. Like people would always be telling me like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry, my phone went off or this and that." Like I never heard anything.
Oh,
So yeah,
all right. We should be
no,
good now.
I'm new to this software Riverside, but that's cool. It captures everything.
I'm not sure if you can hear that or not. But no, sorry about that. Yeah, I turned that off.
No, you're good, man.
But no, I mean, I would think I think I've always been pretty family oriented, pretty close. I think that's more. It's also like a culture thing with Hispanics, and it's just growing as I'm getting older and as I see my family getting older. Notice that kind of cherish the moments that you have. Actually, brings me was what's funny is a new. I'm not sure if you heard, but the new Bad Bunny album came and he kind of talks about that in his album. It's like I should have taken more pictures. It was the title of the album, and it's,
Oh,
it's so true.
that's the title of the album.
Yeah, it's debí tirar más fotos, which is like yeah, I should have taken more pictures. Should have appreciated the times we had, things like that.
Damn, that's actually a really deep title for an album. I should have taken more pictures.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to abhor having to take pictures. They'd be like, "Hey, get in the family picture. We're taking a
Mm-hmm.
picture," and I just wasn't with it. But then, as I got older, and especially in the age of social media, it's like pictures are so frequent and they're
Right.
everywhere, and it's weird if you don't take them. Almost,
Right. Right. It's
yeah,
almost like back then, like the pictures. Uh, they also kind of had more meaning because uh, I know growing up when I was growing up, we had those I forget like the not the Polaroid cameras. Well, those too, but like the little cheap ones where you had to go into a store and get in a disposable camera, and it's like an effort to try to get those. Like if you it's now you could just get a phone and you have it digitally, but um, it's almost like back then if you wanted those pictures, you had to go an extra step and make more of an effort to see them rather than they are
yeah.
now. So it might have meant a little bit more.
Was it also? What was it like taking pictures when you were in college about 10 years ago?
And what do you mean in terms of what?
Was it still as relevant or prevalent as it is now?
I think so. I think it was still, that social media era. Probably not as much now, but I remember. Uh, that's a story with my buddies, but I remember right when Instagram started popping off. is is around my freshman year of college. I'm sure it was around like a few years before then, but like I know it started getting more popular. Like a lot of people didn't have it yet, and I just remember posting like some random stuff. It was weird. I kind of cringed back when that when I go back in there. I don't really get on Instagram that much anymore, so I remember whenever I was posting the engagement post, I was like, let me clean up my Instagram real quick because I'm sure there's a lot of weird stuff here that makes me cringe a little bit.
I was talking to my
But
aunt, and she was telling me that as she's grown older, the way she sees social media is it's something obsolete. Like, for example, she could go on a trip and not post a single picture about it because she just doesn't feel
mm,
the need to. And she could just
yeah,
do anything in her life and just not feel the need to post about it. Whereas when she was younger, it was more of an event. There was a hype around it. Like, oh, I gotta put this out there. Do you feel the
yeah,
same way? It's just an
I
obsolete
do. Yeah,
thing.
I'm not a big, yeah, I've noticed, I'm not a big social media guy anymore. I'm on it, just like I use it for entertainment purposes, just to, make me laugh or keep me, like I said, pass time. But as far as posting, I don't really do that anymore. I may throw like a picture on Snapchat every now and then, but definitely not how 10 years ago I was posting a lot more frequently, and um, I think now I don't even know if it's just like more of an enjoying the moment type thing. I just don't really feel the need to share anything or post anything anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure why that is, to be honest.
I think there's a lot of power in that approach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know my fiance like wants to. We she I think she posts more than me on like Instagram not reels, but stories and stuff like that. But um, if I do, it's maybe of like a cool like if I'm traveling is usually I've noticed is when I'll post like one or two things mainly.
Do you ever feel like, do you ever get FOMO? Fear of missing out on things?
Uh, Probably to be honest. I'm trying to think of. I don't think it's too bad, but like I had my when I was living back home in San Antonio, I had a good friend of mine and my brother-in-law. They hang out all the time, and we're cool guys that we watch a lot of sporting events together, and a lot of UFC fights together, and I see their stories and stuff. They're always hanging out, and I'm like, man, miss y'all. But uh, other than that, I mean, I still have a group of friends that I hang out with here, so it's not like I'm missing out, too much and not doing nothing. But um, it can kind of get me sometimes. What about you?
There was a phase in my life, I think it was back in 2019, where I was off social media for 6 months straight. And there were so many fun things going on in my life at that time, but I did not feel any need to be on social media. And I always reflect back at that time in my life very fondly because I felt so alive, so in the moment.
Yeah,
And I don't have as many pictures of that time, interestingly enough, but the memories are still there. And I just remember that the reason it felt so amazing was because when you go on social media and you see one of your friends maybe in Clear Lake doing something, or somebody else in Sugarland, or somebody else in Springs, it you're thinking about people that aren't there in front of you in your life. Even if it's just a passing thought, they're not there in front of you. When you're off social media, when you don't have that exposure to those things going on, you're only focused on who's actually there in front of me, who's actually around me in my real life. And it gets really exciting because you get to focus on those people more. And it's almost as if you have everything and everyone you could need right there. Social
Yeah.
media, as great as it can be a tool to keep up with people, it you're like a ghost in scenes of other people's lives. You know, you show up and you just see for a split second what's going on, then you disappear. It's yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I know I may have asked you this earlier, but when I was seeing your posts and stuff, you look very photogenic. Like, have you have photography background or anything like that? Your pictures are really high quality and
Thank you. Thank you.
very like out of a magazine or something.
I'm just artsy fartsy, man. And my
Yeah,
sister, she's a fantastic photographer. My brother too. Um, yeah, I just because I'm artsy fartsy, I just like to make things look a particular way. And I
yeah,
think that's just how it comes across.
nice,
But I
nice,
appreciate that compliment. Thank you.
for sure.
Yeah.
This guy
Is it your
being,
dog?
yeah, he's very what's the word? Not spoiled. Well, he is spoiled, but like needy. There you go. He's like always wants to be petted and stuff. Right now, he has a donut on, because he was scratching his ear and he had a ear infection, that he won't let heal. So it's now he has a scab that he keeps opening up, and like whenever he shakes his head, he gets blood on the walls, and so he wouldn't stop. So he had to put this donut on him, and now he's like moping around the house because he doesn't like it. But,
Have you had any other pets other than him?
um, growing up, I did. I was always we were always a dog family. But interesting enough, we never actually kept a dog throughout its whole life, like from puppy to passing.
Hmm.
So I don't know what happened to these dogs. I can't remember. I don't know if they like gave them away or something. Um, but I know we had the two dogs in particular that we've had for from birth to passing. One like when I was growing up. One of them we gave to my grandma, and then one was my sister's dog that she kept. So I guess this is like my first dog on my own that I had,
Oh,
um, from when he was a baby.
that is
So
so interesting that you. So you've never experienced the death of a pet, to your
no,
knowledge. Wow.
yeah, my I know, yeah, like I said, my sister has, um, and my grandma's dog, but I was never like I said, they weren't my dogs, so it was it, I know people say it's really heartbreaking whenever they lose a pet, and so this will probably be my first true test to that. I know it really hurt my sister a lot whenever she lost her because she had that dog from a puppy as well. Um,
Do you ever wonder the fate of the dogs that maybe your family gave away or something? What happened to them?
I mean I sometimes I know one died, but I don't really know how.
Mm.
I think I was like in middle school or something. Um, So yeah, I'm not sure to be. Oh, and I know one other one died because he ran away, and it's not funny, but like I could just picture the scene, and I don't know why it makes you like it's like a dark humor type thing, but
What happened?
so we had a dog. I forgot what was his name. Um, Bruce, I think was his name, and he ran away, from our backyard, and it was gone for like a few weeks. And of course, we were looking for him, couldn't find him. I think 2 or 3 weeks later, my mom and my sister in a car. I'm not there, so this is what they told me. They're driving around, and they see a dog walking on the side of the street, and they're like, "Is that Bruce?" And then my sister's very my if you know my sister, she's very like she's a loving animal person. So she's always liked animals and dogs and other creatures, but she she started getting so happy. She's like, "That is Bruce," and they start calling him. They pull over, and he's on the other side of the road, and he sees them. He starts, running to them. Gets hit by a car. So I was like, "Damn, that's wild." And they were just like, "Oh," and so that's what happened to that one. But
That is tragic.
I know it's
It's
actually
like a scene out of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
yeah, something crazy
Oh my goodness.
like a bad horror film or something, but um,
Damn.
like a scary, like a. I think it like if I see that scene, like if you saw that scene like in Scary Movie 5 or something,
I
you'd
can
be like,
picture it.
yeah.
Oh
So,
man. Yeah, I didn't grow up with any pets, but around the COVID time, when the freeze happened, if you remember that first freeze,
yeah, I
uh,
do.
a cat ended up coming our way, and
Oh
we've had
yeah.
him for that long. And one time he got lost, and it really hit me in the heart, and I was
Mm,
shocked. I was like, no way. I can feel this way for an animal.
yeah.
Because I wasn't familiar with that sort of a sensation. When
Mm-hmm.
that happened, I was like, damn. And yeah. So it makes me think, that, you know,
Oh, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, it's definitely gonna hurt for sure. Um, he's he's over 3, so he's still young right now, but he's already getting a bunch of gray hairs on his mouth and around his head. So, yeah, definitely not looking forward to that day. But it I think it also shows you how like I was going back to the whole time as a resource thing. Like that's just no amount of money is ever gonna buy a second of time. So I think we just gotta appreciate living the moment, like you were talking about, enjoying the present, and try not to look too much in the future, but just enjoying the time that we have right now.
when I left college, I, it really did hit me that those days are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, that routine was quite literally my everyday life. Going to U
Right.
of H, coming back, seeing your friends. And then one day that all just stops and you're quite literally thrust into a different phase of life. And people always told me you'll miss it. And I didn't really believe them. It's kind of a half-hearted belief. But
Yeah.
I look back and I'm like, wow, those were really some golden days. And they are gone.
Is that what you
Had
miss the most? Just the camaraderie of your friends, seeing them every day?
Yeah, just all the people and,
Yeah,
the different people you get to meet, get to talk to, and just,
absolutely.
yeah. Was it like that for you as well when you left?
Yeah, same. I think my what I miss the most. It's a little weird because most of the people I hung out with in college, they do live in Houston. But a lot of, they got wives and kids now, and we don't really get to hang out as much. Um, and I had a roommate at the time, so we were really close, and um, just not seeing them every day is kind of what I miss the most. I also miss playing basketball. I used to play a lot of basketball in
Yeah.
college, like for the IMs and bunch. I was in a few leagues.
You used to be shredded too, eh?
Yeah, a a little bit. I think that was more of the diet more than anything. But um,
Yeah.
got a girlfriend and all that went down the hill. So
Yes, I remember you telling me, I
it's a
have a
joke.
girlfriend. I don't need a six pack anymore. I always remember
They're
that.
overrated. Overrated. Yeah.
Oh man.
No, it's the food she makes is what did it for me. Uh,
There's
that's what
that
they say.
joke in Family Guy where Peter says, "Exhale like you never have to attract a pretty woman again." I'm like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
that one always sticks with me. Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
yeah,
But
man. That feeling of missing your old college days. I mean, for you, it's been over 10 years now. Do you
hmm
feel like you're over it, or it sometimes still gets to you?
Missy College?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm over it now. I definitely don't miss being poor and broke like during those times struggling. So that's nice. Not having to donate plasma to pay for rent. Um, but I think I also just miss the free time that we had. And I know it seems like you were so busy, but then you realize like, yeah, I really wasn't. I really had a lot of time to do stuff. And now, when you're in the workforce, some people working over 40 hours a week, um, you don't really get that anymore. And all you have is just 2 days on the weekends that just go by really quick. And then the next thing you know, you're at work again. So that's kind of what I miss the most is just the free time, to be honest.
Did that cycle ever traumatize you when you entered the workforce?
It, it uh I don't know if it traumatized me, but it was definitely an adjustment period. I think that I had to um, adapt to. I would say that my first job, I how do I put this? It made me go through a phase and a point in my life where I was like, this can't just be all life is, right? Like, and I think it like I wasn't like in a depression, but it was like a little funk that I had to figure out a way to snap out of and find things to enjoy and to make make these days worth it, make them count. So I would say that kind of hit me hard. That was more like I would say year 2 or 3, right out of college of working full time, where it kind of got me, and I think I just had to adjust and change my frame of mind of this isn't my life, but this is uh just something I have to do, to survive, to to pay bills, to invest in futures, to hopefully retire one day. I think it just kind of hit me that it's just something that everyone has to do.
And when you entered the workforce and with your journey so far, what do you think is the best piece of advice you could give to someone who's just starting out?
Man, it's tough because I still
Because
feel
as I was saying in the beginning, you really feel the way I saw you in the workforce
yeah.
was you really seemed like you had it figured out. You walked a line that seemed really balanced. It seemed like
Mhm.
you knew how to navigate a lot of situations, very professional.
Appreciate that, man. Well, I don't mean to burst your bubble, man, but I definitely don't. So I would say, I guess my advice is just, be confident. Be confident in your abilities. I think a lot of that comes with experience. So as much as you can, just experience different things, experience different parts of yourself, just so you can gain that confidence. And if you're in an uncomfortable situation, be like, hey, I've done this before. I felt this way before, and it things are okay. Things worked out. Um, So that I think that's what I would say because I know you said I seem I have it together. I'm just like I said, just trying to go through life like everyone else. I definitely don't, not even sure what I'll be doing 5 years from now. Um, but I think I'm just using my career as something to um, supplement me right now. I still would want to find that one, true job that truly makes me happy. And I know people say that, and some people are lucky enough to find something that they love, and that's awesome for them. I'm still not sure what that is for me, and I don't even know if I'll ever find that. Um, but just kind of using this as like I was saying, just as a way to not struggle in life and have income that I can go on trips. I like to travel a lot, and
Yeah.
so having that work life balance is key for any individual.
What's your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Ooh, man, I would say my favorite was it's close between so for two different reasons. One is my first trip that I took with my fiance to Costa Rica. We were there for I think like a week and a half, and we traveled like to three or four different cities or areas. Um, and that was really cool. That was really cool to see. We went to beaches, we went to little towns, we went to forests, we got to hike, and so that was probably my favorite in terms of like the overall activities that we were able to do and experiences that we made. And then the other one I can think of is with a group of buddies that I have from college. We take yearly trips to catch up with each other, and we're all spaced out in different cities. So uh, we took one to Puerto Rico, and I think so. It was like a few months after a new Bad Bunny album dropped, and it was just a um, crazy experience. So those are probably my best two ones that I could think of.
Nice. Are you a big Bad Bunny fan?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I am. I've been to me and Laura. We've been to every concert except we probably won't get to go to this next one because I know it's only in Puerto Rico. Um, and then he's going to like different other countries. So we gotta save up for wedding planning. So I may not travel for a while.
Another interesting thing about working with you guys was I realized how different my taste in music was from almost everybody there. And
Right.
everybody there, it's so interesting, had such strong opinions about music. It meant so much to all you guys, and it really exposed me to a lot of different things and a lot of genres and styles, and I'm pretty grateful for that, to be honest with you.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
interesting to see what excites other people and
Yeah.
kind of understand why that is. So Bad
Hmm.
Bunny, this new album, it sounds interesting, especially that title. The album's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's definitely a vibe. He went. I found like all his albums are different, which I appreciate. From an artist. I don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. Um, so I would say, especially this one, he takes more traditional island beats. It's basically it's all about Puerto Rico. I'm not Puerto Rican, but I can appreciate his commitment and his enthusiasm for his people. It's really nice to see. Like a lot of uh, I have to Google Translate a lot of the lyrics. Of course, I'm a no Sabo kid, but um, just seeing the messages that he has is really impactful, really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about him other than He was in Bullet Train, but I guess I'll
Yes,
have to
that's
check it
right.
out, eh?
What was this
Dude,
character again? I
the
did see that
wolf.
movie. The
He was
Wolf.
the
That's right.
wolf. I think he has like a fight with Brad Pitt. He kills him or
That's
something
right.
like
You're a
that.
big movie buff, huh? You're a
I
big
love the
movie buff.
films. Yeah.
That's right.
Without
I
them, I'm
remember that
blind
about you.
in many ways.
Have you seen anything recently that you recommend?
Good question. Well, this was a few months back, but The Lord of the Rings. I grew up with a lot of Narnia, and I really was into Lord of the Rings, but it just never came on TV where I could see it. Like, there wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that in my childhood. But recently, I watched all of them, and I loved them. They were amazing.
Nice.
So I highly recommend The Lord of the Rings.
Rings.
Yeah.
Okay. I've actually never seen them. I know it's crazy to hear.
Yeah. Really good stuff. But Jesse, I was wondering, man, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you felt like you wanted to say but you didn't get a chance to, or something on your mind that you wanted to express?
Uh, I mean, other than it's really good to see you.
Likewise.
I'm glad you reached out. It was a pleasure working with you. Um,
Likewise.
I know, like I said earlier, you always seemed uh, very mature for your. I know what I say for your age. Like, you're not like a teenager, but still, like, is still coming out of, like you said, freshly graduated or coming out of college. Still early 20s. Seems like you got a great outlook on life, and I really appreciate that. It's something you don't really see, especially for young 20-year-olds. I know I definitely wasn't like wasn't like that. So it's really interesting to see. I also think you got a bright future as well.
Yeah.
And so
Thank you.
whatever
That's
you decide to do, whatever avenue you want to pursue, I think you'll be successful. So keep it up, and hope to stay in touch.
yeah, no, same here, man. Thank you for the kind words. And dude, you were great, dude. You were
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than that. I really enjoyed working with you. You're a good guy. So,
Likewise, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
yeah. And what's interesting about this conversation that we had is when I worked with you, you struck me as a man of many answers. But with this conversation, I saw you in a different light. You seem like a man in search of many answers. So that's
Yeah,
fascinating to see.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, man, you just gotta sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Um,
Yeah, Chris
I try
Cornell, he's got a lyric. He's like, I'm only faking when I get it right. And I keep hearing
to
this more and more. Fake it till you make it. I'm like, damn, maybe that's just everybody's story, huh? You fake it till you make
maybe
it.
to be honest. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we're all just trying to figure stuff out. And like I said, just being confident and being secure with what you're doing can go a long way, especially in the professional world.
I'll take your word for it, man. But I
All right,
suppose
Omar.
until next time, eh?
Till next soon. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Same here.